Welcome to Medical Intuitively Speaking. I'm Kim Louise, medical intuitive and holistic nutritionist. Join me on a journey to discuss all things medical intuition, metaphysics, nutrition, and energy healing. I'm so happy you're here. Let's get this started. Hello and welcome. I wanted to share with you today some examples of some of my medical intuition sessions that I've had with some of my previous clients. My clients that I'm going to be discussing today, they have provided their permission to share their information, but their names will be kept private. So just for some background information, prior to any appointments that I have, I ask that my clients not share with me anything about their health concerns ahead of time, as that can influence the reading, and I definitely don't want that to happen. And what I base my readings off of is a current headshot photo of them. Once I get their photo, and prior to the appointment, I connect to their energy and their body and ask my guides to show me their health concerns. I'll use an outline drawing of a body, front and back, on a piece of paper, and in my mind's eye, I will visualize their body within that outline drawing. I will also visualize them standing in front of me. I look at their body from head to toe, front to back, and at each body system during the assessment. And then my guides will assist me on the assessment, and I will receive the information through various ways. I will see it in my mind's eye, I will hear it, I'll feel it, or sometimes the information will just drop in as a knowing. I'll receive the information about current health issues, previous health issues, and even health issues that haven't yet occurred but will reveal themselves in the future. I've gotten feedback from some of my clients that what I said that I had seen actually had occurred after our session. So I wanted to share with you one of the most profound sessions that I've ever had with a client. Prior to our initial session, while I was connecting with his energy, I was shown that he had previous cancer-related issues of the throat area, which were related to cigarette smoking. And though his mouth was closed in the photo, I was also shown that he had some partial dentures due to some missing teeth. I was shown that he was currently under a lot of stress, and it was causing him to feel a lot of anxiety. When I made my way down to his stomach area, it felt strongly that he wasn't eating enough food, and this was causing him to be nutrient deficient. I also sensed that he was belching a lot. When I got to his pancreas, it felt like there was a focus on insulin. In his large intestines, I was seeing diarrhea. When I got to his blood and lymphatic system, I was being shown a strong emphasis there on his blood and lymph. They also showed me strain in his upper back and shoulders. From an emotional standpoint, over his heart area, I saw a big glowing red disc, and this felt like a deep broken heart and a lot of unresolved and intense sadness. He felt to me very emotionally lost. During our initial session together, I described to him the information that I had received. He did have throat cancer 5 to 6 years earlier due to smoking, and it was specifically on his vocal cords. He said that he's currently in remission for that cancer. He also confirmed that he does have partial dentures due to those missing teeth. The reason that there was a focus on his blood and lymph is because he currently has lymphoma, which is blood cell cancer. And he says that his liver, unfortunately, has also been affected. He's been giving himself coffee enemas to help cleanse his liver. And then as a result of that, this has caused him diarrhea on a daily basis. So that's why I was seeing the diarrhea. He's been on a restrictive diet, which is why I was shown that he tends to not eat enough. His doctor put him on metformin as a therapeutic drug for his lymphoma, and this is why I was seeing the focus on his insulin, as metformin helps to improve insulin metabolism, among other functions of that drug. He also had strained his AC joint in his shoulder, and that's why I was being shown the issue in his shoulders. I was able to guide him on ways to eat more food and to focus on nutrient-dense options, since I was being shown that he was nutrient deprived. When I explained to him the big glowing red disc over his heart area and the intense sadness that I was being shown that he was feeling, he let me know that that was due to a previous romantic relationship that he had never gotten any resolve over. So for the energy healing session, prior to our appointment together, I connected with Spirit to see what the best approach would be for healing the emotional trauma that was still residing in his heart center. Now, depending on the guidance that I get from Spirit, they will either have me do the energy healing, or in some cases, they will do it themselves. In this particular case, they performed that energy healing or that psychic surgery procedure. My role in this particular case was to explain to him what they were showing me. So in my mind's eye, I watched as Spirit lifted open that red disc that was over his heart center. And when they lifted that up, it then revealed this white, mushy substance that had the consistency of like rice pudding. They then brought down a giant spoon and scooped out all of that mushy substance. And then once that substance was all cleared, I then saw a large hand come down, which then started to place small metallic star-shaped pieces into that cleared area in his chest, one on top of the other, and then in rows. And as I watched, I didn't know why they were doing it. And to be honest, I was feeling a little uncomfortable and confused by it. Once they finished doing that, though, those metallic pieces then became bonded together to create strength in his emotional heart center. This created a new metallic shield over his heart in that chest space that gave him this new emotional strength and confidence. And what they then showed me was a flash of the Superman symbol. And at that point, it started to make a lot more sense to me. Now, I realized that none of you would know this about me, but the original Superman movie is my favorite movie of all time. And I was thinking that perhaps Spirit was showing me that symbol because of my personal love of Superman. You know, sometimes Spirit will do that. They will give information that's relevant to the person that's doing the reading. So when I explained to my client what I saw during the healing session, he was floored when I got to the part of that Superman symbol. He told me that he has that Superman symbol as a tattoo on his arm that he had gotten in honor of his father when he had passed away. And that symbol was very meaningful to him. Now, keep in mind, I had no idea that he had this tattoo on his arm. This was shocking to me. So this was a complete validation for him and for me, that not only was Spirit energetically healing and strengthening his broken heart, but that his father played a role in it. I then watched as Spirit energetically addressed his blood cell health issue. I watched as they used various laser lights on his body while he was lying down. It looked very much like a laser show. I should say a laser light show. After they did that for a while, they then showed me a very large magnet. It was like the size of it looked like a bar magnet it was the length of the width of his body, and it was above his body, and that moved slowly from his head down to his feet. As it moved down his, body, it was pulling out the cells that were being impacted by those lasers. They then showed me two giant hands that then helped to move all of the negative energy out of his body. It was akin to regular Reiki, but it was spirit performing the Reiki. After I explained what spirit was showing me, he was floored again. He said that he's been using a Rife plasma frequency machine each night. Now, I didn't even know what this machine was, but I happen to know now, but it's a machine that uses light frequencies to help to support cellular immune health. He also let me know that he's been using a mattress with built-in magnets, which again helps with cellular immune health. So to be honest, this really blew my mind. To him, this was total validation that what he was doing with that technology that he had been using was the right thing. I guided him to some alternative medicine doctors as well who have expertise in cancer that he can work with in addition to his conventional cancer doctors. You know, this next client that I want to tell you about was another really fascinating case. While I was connecting with her photo, the initial thing that I was shown was that, like my previous client, she also had a very large shield over her heart. But hers was black, and it was more like a protective defense shield. It was really apparent that she was very emotionally blocked. I was then shown some issues with breast tissue and heard the words puncture wound when I was looking around her chest area. I also felt that there was a lung issue. When I was looking at the back of her head, I heard the words head injury. When I got to her right shoulder, I was shown that it was strained from the neck down into her shoulder. When I got to her ribs, I saw that she had cracked ribs on her right side. So when I explained to her the information that I was shown, she said that she had previously been taking care of her sick mother for 4 years, and unfortunately, her mother had passed away from breast and lung cancer. She said that when I brought up the breast tissue issue, lung issues, and mentioned the words puncture wound, she said that this was more about her mother, as her mother had passed from breast cancer that had metastasized to her lungs. The puncture wound was regarding the shots that my client had to give to her mother for her cancer. So in this session, Spirit was bringing through her mother's health issues to help my client to better understand the effects that this emotional trauma caused to her body. Her mother's death profoundly impacted her. After discussing more with her, it turns out that my client was a nurse and a healer who previously had her own clinical practice and felt that she had failed her mother because she wasn't able to keep her alive. When her mother had passed away, she felt like she wasn't worthy any longer of doing clinical healing work. And then as a result, she unknowingly created an energetic block in her body over her heart, which was preventing her from happiness and doing the work that she loved. When I explained what I saw regarding her right shoulder, she confirmed that it's definitely an issue and she wasn't able to move that shoulder. When I explained that I was seeing those cracked ribs on her right side, she confirmed that in the past she had broken 3 ribs on her right side. When I explained that I heard the words head injury when looking at the back of her head, she confirmed that she's had 2 concussions due to heavy objects hitting her head. Regarding the healing portion of our sessions, we focused on healing the energetic trauma that she was holding over her heart center, and we also addressed her shoulder issue. So during that healing session, I had asked Spirit to show me the best method to remove that black shield that was blocking her from feeling worthy to continue in her clinical practice. Now, imagine a very large black shield the size of a steering wheel, like a solid steering wheel, over a person's chest. That's what this looked like. Spirit showed me that what my client needed to do was to visualize in her mind's eye this black shield. She then needed to see herself standing in front of herself and literally take that black shield and unscrew it counterclockwise from her chest. So I walked her through this energetic removal of this shield. I had her take her time while she unscrewed it, and then also had her explain to me what she was experiencing and seeing as she was unscrewing it. It got to the point where she was unscrewing it a bit, and then she just said, you know what, I'm just going to pull it out. So she just pulled it out, which was perfectly fine. So once it was removed, I then had her fill that empty portion of her chest with positive light energy. She said that this removal of that energetic block was extremely cathartic for her. She felt that Spirit bringing through her mother's health issues and tying those in with her own internalization of guilt that she had felt over her mother's passing was very helpful to show her that it wasn't healthy to hold on to those feelings. Regarding her right shoulder issue, I did an energetic healing session with some dowsing commands to neutralize and transform that energy. I also showed her how to do that healing on her own, as it's always great to feel empowered to be able to heal yourself. One thing of note that is important is that both she and her mother both had health issues primarily on the right side of their bodies. When a person has issues primarily on the right side of their body, that's very indicative of issues with male figures in their lives. The opposite is true when a person has issues primarily on the left side of their body. That often will indicate issues with females in their lives. My client confirmed that she and her mother definitely had issues with male relationships throughout their lives. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this podcast here. If you are wanting a medical intuition session with me, I will post my website information in the show notes. And I want to thank you for listening, and I wish you all the very best in health. Take care.